Mark Cuban is at it again. He is now in week 2 of defending his insanely anti-white position on hiring. And he just keeps going back for more. He keeps arguing with people on Twitter. And the more people he argues with, the more wildly insane his takes are. Now, he said just yesterday, by the way, leave a like on this video if you think this is hilarious. Mark Cuban literally believes that it's a problem if more than 10% of new jobs in the United States go to white people. 60% of the United States is white. He literally said that. Yeah, I feel you all clicking the like button, and I appreciate it. By the way, it helps a ton if you hit that subscribe button or follow button down below too. It's immensely, immensely helpful. And we're going to get into his wild meltdown after a quick word from this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, in current year, everyone basically has to have a VPN. It's a extremely versatile and now basically required tool of browsing the modern internet. And that's why I'm happy to be partnered with Private Internet Access and have been for over a year now. It's a VPN I use, it's a VPN I recommend to my friends and family, and I have a massive discount for my viewers. In short, a VPN allows you to change the location that you may be seen as browsing the internet from. This helps you unlock television shows and movies that might not be available in your area. It allows you to browse the internet anonymously. Heck, even right now, we just saw several countries, for example, Google and Meta are now blocking news in Canada. And well, how are you going to get your news? Well, you could change your location. VPN helps protect your privacy, secure your data, and bypass network blocks. It comes in extremely important all the time. That's why I have it on my computers, laptops, and mobile phones. Private Internet Access is an open source app with no usage logs, unlimited bandwidth, high-speed global server network, dedicated apps, powerful encryption, and 24/7 live support. Unlock the power of the internet and stay censorship-free by using my link in the description below and get yourself. If you don't already have VPN, Private Internet Access is the one I use. It's the one I recommend. Grab it in the link below and save massively for my viewers. I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to start with the filling of the Oreo cookie of insane racism by Mark Cuban when he writes, quote, "With that in mind," and I'll show the context of everything else he said. "With that in mind, 94% of new jobs in the S&P 100 going to people of color sounds about what we ought to expect. It's not evidence of employers going to especially great lengths to hire minorities, yes it is, or discriminating against white workers. Well, I suppose it's possible that those are the best people for the jobs and they also happen to not be white. Or doing anything other than fishing where the fish are. If the percentage were much lower than 90%, that would be a cause for concern." Again, he is saying that if 90% of new hires aren't non-white, that's a problem. 90% of people that are hired in the S&P 100 need to be non-white. That's what Mark Cuban is saying. I can't even believe he wrote that. And it's still up. And Wokeness writes, Mark Cuban believes it's concerning if more than 10% of new jobs in the United States go to white people. 60% of the United States is white. Mark Cuban supports systemic racism and discrimination on the basis of race. Elon Musk replies in here with the exclamation point. I think this is something he uses to boost the algorithm. I've seen that before. But anyway, Elon Musk gets that. Wall Street Silver. I mean, the rabbit hole also was arguing with him and says, this sounds like a violation of the Civil Rights Act. Mark Cuban also saying in his meltdown, you don't actually read anything, do you? You should read the website. It's a for-profit school. If they want primarily purple people eaters from Mars, it's their choice. But if he wanted white people primarily by choice, you guys would be calling for the business to be shut down. In order to have Martians to be, he's talking about United Airlines. In order for those Martians to become United pilots, they first have to progress through a purely meritocratic system. They won't hire any Martians before they are qualified. But then they just lower the standards, just like the United States military does. The United States military said, we want more women. What did they do? They lowered the physical standard requirements for women to make the military. shout out to any woman who serves as being significantly braver and more of a man than I am. Let's just put that out there. But the fact of the matter is they did and have continued to lower standards to make it into the military. I mean, it's so wild. Mark Cuban likes to admit he's racist, but then gets upset when you point out that he's racist. He also wrote this: "Dear white people, we are the ones that need to change. This is not one man's story. This is almost every black man's story, which is why the problem is ours. We need to fix our way to change what we do. There's no fix. It's a moral imperative." Bro, you worry about you. I don't have any problem with black people. Never have, never will. Now, if I have a problem with an individual who happens to be black, well, then that's an individual. Just like if they were Asian or Mexican or Dominican or Jamaican or whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay? Has nothing to do with people. Now, of course, people pointing out he's Jewish. I don't know how that's relative or relevant, but people are pointing that out a lot. I said, Mark knows what he's doing. It's disgusting. I mean, this guy's been on a 2-week meltdown. Like, I literally can't believe. Oh, I hate every white man on the planet. It's insane. The ratio is about what we would expect to. Yeah, he's getting completely ratioed into oblivion, too. If I go to this, actual post and look at some of the replies, I don't even understand how on earth Mark Cuban is like operating in a world of, I mean, this guy is not smart. He got lucky. I'd have to say that over the past 24 hours, I found X to be warm and welcoming. The diversity of responses, both tone and content, have been heartwarming. I did have to block one account with a large number of followers. Beyond that, I appreciate all the engagement. Yeah, sure. Okay. I know for a fact that he blocked more than that, because he definitely blocked that Asian troll account, Lee May or whatever her name is. So if we look at this reply, I want to find his actual, because he's always shilling his drug company. He's enjoying that. Here's the funny thing. Okay, it's still live. Has 610 responses, which of course will destroy this. 60% of the population is white. 6% of new corporate jobs went to white people the year after corporate America pledged to hire non-whites. In other words, white people are systemically discriminated against. Simple enough for you to understand, 3,000 likes. The rabbit hole replies, it's not evidence of employers going to great lengths to hire minorities. Corporate America pledged to hire more people of color. Really? I mean, he's just... you just wonder if he's trying, is he trying to break programming? Like, is in his mind, is he trying to free himself from this nonsense? It feels like he might be trying to, it's like he sees these replies and he can't possibly think he's right. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever read, and I've read Twilight. This premise requires one to believe that 9 out of 10 white applicants are not up to snuff, and that the corollary, I don't know sure how that word is, would produce an equally astronomical figure on the favorable side for people of color, saying 9 out of 10 people of color were perfectly qualified. I mean, I don't even understand. You say white significantly outperform blacks and Hispanics in every measurable activity requiring cognitive skill, most notably in academic performance. Therefore, how would blacks and Hispanics be more qualified than whites to fill cognitively demanding corporate jobs? Redheaded libertarian. Businesses are coerced into anti-white hiring practices in order to secure loans. When they are constrained from considering 100% of qualified candidates and are forced to hire from 18% of applicants, airplane parts start falling out of the sky. It's like he accidentally proved that it is in fact racist. It's objectively proof of racism. Number one, I'm not a people of color, Mark. I'm an American. And no, race-based hiring is actually illegal. Try reading the 14th Amendment for once. Then you can read the equal opportunity, or the EEOA. Sorry. Do you really think white people are 6% of the population? Like, nobody. He's just like, so why didn't you fish in that pool of 5'2" East Asian women, Mark? Seems like you enjoy rules for thee, but not for me. This is, I mean, weeks now. Weeks. And Mark Cuban probably doesn't actually buy any of this crap. He doesn't actually hire based on that. You know, like he doesn't actually hire based on skin color. He just says he does. We know this is true because we can look at his basketball team. When he's hiring basketball players, which by the way, the Mavericks are predominantly white, which is odd, right? When he's hiring them, he's hiring the best athletes. He's not looking at their skin color. And then his big response to this, of course, is to call X an echo chamber. You see, despite all of this, Scott, white men, the demographic you feel have gotten passed over, make more money and have lower unemployment rates than black people and women you feel are replacing them. It's not even an argument. He says, I respect your efforts to get up to speed on this critical topic. Your blind spot is because white employees know they will end their careers if they are honest about their experiences. I don't think employers can easily discern who would perform better. That's why they don't consider white applicants. Their bonuses depend on increasing diversity. In banking, I was finishing my MBA on top of my economics degree, and I was told they had to promote women with a high school degree over me because I was white and male. Same story when I moved to Pacific Bell. My bosses told me directly, no guessing on my part. This is normal in all big American companies. I'm glad you're digging into it. You'll be flabbergasted. You know, and I mean, it's like if you look at, again, I talk about every time you see a spokesperson or a CEO or this, that, and the other thing from Google or, you know, Facebook or all this stuff, it's they're not white men. They're not. And the idea, like, here's Mark Cuban, white 6%, people of color 94%. What? I love that he's getting pushback. I love that he's having this conversation. I appreciate it happening in the open because he's just telling you what we already knew. And he's saying it loud and clear. And I absolutely love it. Mark Cuban, quite frankly, is racist. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. And if you haven't, please do subscribe or follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.